gentlemen, this is episode 178 of the Carrying the Culture Show. She is wilding out. We got a fun one. My name is Tamal. It's like Jamal, but with a T. And this one is long overdue, like 7-8 years overdue.
Yeah.
Heavy hitter, missile launcher. Your pen is respected all throughout the game. Barbarella, you got Barbarian there.
I was gonna put Barbarella down there. Can I change it? Is it too late?
No, I think
ask me what my title was.
Let me see if I can.
We can put Empress Official.
Look.
Barbarella.
I can change it right. We on the fly right here.
Put Mother Nature with a Molotov. I mean, which one?
Yeah, you got Mad
Ackers. I got Mad Ackers.
BEBBAR.
Yeah, and then I do the bar, and then the two L's are capitalized.
Well, hold on. Let me see if I got
Barbarella.
All right, hold on. Let me see if it saves it. Look at that change. Well,
technology.
All right, look. Yo, I'm super excited about this when we got the homegirl star in the building. It's been this is you don't understand how hyped I am, man. I'm super hyped. First of all, thank you for rocking with us. I'm like all over the place with the intro. I'm very excited about it.
It's all right. We just vibes.
Yeah, now we rocking. We rocking. Real quick. Got to give a big shout out to one of our official show sponsors, Diggable Tees. They make the illest hip hop t-shirts on the planet. Okay. Definitely check them out. They've been rocking with us for a long time. And so we're gonna get started. I don't know how much time you got, but I got a lot to cover.
I'm off tomorrow, so I don't got nothing to do until therapy at 11 a.m.
Oh, word. Let's get it. So here's the thing, man. Like, we know each other, but we don't really know each other in a lot of ways. And I don't know a lot of your history and stuff like that. And so you've probably been asking me these questions a lot, but for me, this is a genuine opportunity to be like, who the hell are you? Like in a lot of ways, you know what I'm saying? Other than, us connecting and stuff through Instagram and things like that over the years. But there's a lot of things I genuinely want to know. All right. So I need to go. I take it all the way back to the beginning. You're originally from Memphis, right?
Originally from Memphis, born at Baptist East Memorial Hospital that is no longer there. They tore it down. So I can't even go and be like, I was born there.
Oh, it's gone. Yeah, my old hospital's gone too. So when did you get to Atlanta?
In 89.
In 89. All right. Now, my major question is, I'd like to know is how did Star become Star? Because here's my thing. Like, you don't, like when I met you, and since I've known you, you don't seem like the typical Southern rapper, right? Like,
but what's the typical Southern?
That's what I'm saying. I knew you was going to ask me what that meant. But I'm trying to, I'm saying. So if we had to build a Southern rapper that in terms of stereotypes, you don't fit the stereotype.
No, I don't, and I actually love that. That's a superpower.
It is.
So my mother and my father are from tiny little towns in Mississippi. Neither of their parents went to college. They met at Alcorn State University in Lorman, Mississippi. It's down at the bottom. It's maybe about 10, 15, maybe miles or so, maybe a half hour at most from the border with Louisiana. They met there. My dad went on to go to medical school, and my mother eventually, she was a sociology major. So she was like a school counselor. She taught English, and then she went to law school. She passed the bar, and she became a public defender for the Shelby County Public Defender's Office, worked with Joe Brown. Yes, that Judge Joe Brown. Yes, wow. Childhood. He was part of my childhood, and he's always been like that. So I grew up, I wasn't allowed to say ain't. I wasn't allowed to say y'all. We were very proper English. You're going to speak proper, and you're a young lady, and I couldn't get parachute pants or shell toes. So I came from, a family where my parents don't have heavy Southern accents either, even though they're both from very time. They're from the Mississippi Delta.
Mississippi.
So yeah, I mean, I'm a real Southern.
Yeah, you're from the South.
South.
Yeah, like way below the Mason.
Way below the Mason Dixon.
Right,
like Jim Crow, you know, from the largest, one of the, my family on the maternal sides coming out of one of the largest slave plant, or one of the largest plantation / port areas for human trafficking, because that's what it is. That's what it was. So that's so yeah, I was educated parents. I grew up in the suburbs. I was we were one of the 2 Black families in our neighborhood. I went to Montessori school. I'm giving y'all all of it. I went to
but I needed to know because it doesn't fit though. Like so.
Oh, but it does fit as we'll go. As
right, but my brain, my brain's like Southern rapper. Like I need to hear, you know. So that's so, and I know it's not like that. So I'm like, damn, there's got to be an interesting story here.
But no, I'm gonna give y'all. I want to give it all. This is good, and I actually love telling the story because it's really a thing of like, if you're born to do something, no matter where you are, it's gonna find you.
Of course.
I went to Montessori school for pre-K, did 2 years in Catholic school, was asked not to return because I was a hellion. Public school. I grew up in a predominantly white suburban area. Most of the Black kids that I went to school with lived like 2 or 3 cities over. Okay, so I had Black friends, but we were, even at that school, we were the minority.
This is in Memphis.
But I was in Germantown. So Germantown, we moved to Germantown when I was 4. So if you're in Memphis, Germantown is east, right? Is east. We going, you go hit Germantown, Bartlett, Collierville, Cordova, go out that way. You out east. So I wasn't in Orange Mound. My granny lived in the same area that Young Dolph is from. She was off of Frisco Avenue. So the Castelia, I think you say Castelia, because they didn't call it Castelia Heights when I lived there, but that's what that area is. Mm-hmm. And so I spent my weekends there with my granny, and then I was in the suburbs the rest of the time. So my hip hop interactions were radio and TV. The first person I ever saw break dance was like in 3rd or 4th grade. This white kid named Chris Lights, who did a head spin when we had a class party. I actually started out like really, I listened to everything, and I was a big heavy metal head. Like I wanted to be the first Black heavy metal singer. Yeah, but I listened to hip hop too, but I was just really into like the Sugar Cubes and Erasure and Bon Jovi, the hair bands.
Oh yeah, all that stuff back in the day.
Whitesnake. 80, 88, 89. I remember being at my friend Chandra. That was the other little Black girl I went to Montessori school with, because there was only 2 of us there, and they used to mix us up and put us in the wrong cars. And she wouldn't say nothing, and I would scream and shout because I'm like, "That's not my dad. That's not my mama." So we were at a birthday party at Chandra's house. They lived like the Kirby, Knight Arnold area. If you know Memphis, you may not. So I think they would be considered more like a East Memphis. Okay. They were in Memphis proper, and they weren't because Germantown is considered its own, separate. So like, ooh, you got money, you live in Germantown.
You got you.
And that's not necessarily always the case either, because like Dave Chappelle said, you were just rich enough to know how poor you were by comparison to the other people that were around you.
Yep.
So like still middle class, but when you find out middle class is really not as affluent as we are told.
Yeah.
So I got to experience like both sides, because my parents got divorced when I was really little. So it was me, my mom, and my sister and my little brother. And then my mom passed, and that's how I ended up in Atlanta. And then I got like the other side of the Cosby family. Then I got to live with, I had the doctor and that, pool in the backyard, nanny type. So I had both experiences.
Gotcha.
So I was at this party at Chandra's house, and I remember the video Tramp came on. So and I was like,
"What you call me?"
Oh, I mean, I just remember I was like, "Oh, okay." And then somebody had a Just Ice tape, which I didn't know then, but I found out later in life when I saw the tape again. And I remember one of the girls at the party was like, "Oh, you wouldn't know nothing about that because you from the suburbs."
Oh wow.
Oh, hip hop. And I mean, this happened when I was like 11 years old, and I still remember that girl said that to me. I was just looking at the tape.
Yeah.
Right? So I moved here. My mom passed away. Mom had cancer. She passed. I moved to. We actually were in the suburbs, not Atlanta proper, but I was in Metro Atlanta in the north. I mean, nobody y'all. I don't know that it matters to give the specific city, but I've lived in Ackworth. But again, that's like somebody telling you about a place you've never been. It's like, this is Atlanta. I lived up here.
Okay, got you.
Okay. So I was still in the suburbs.
Yeah.
So my godmother lived in Chicago. My mother's one of her best friends. She was her line sister. They met in college. So we would go stay with her every summer in Chicago. Summer of 89, I was 13 in Chicago, on the south side of Chicago. Went to a house party in the basement. We chilling. Somebody puts on Indian Girl by Slick Rick. And again, I listened to rap music, but I wasn't like a hip hop head yet.
Right.
Boy, when they play Indian Girl, because I always wrote. I was always like a creative writer. I've been writing since I was 7, writing stories, writing poems. When I heard Indian Girl, I'm like, wait a minute. He's rapping, but he's telling a story. It has a beginning, an ending, a denouement, I was like, oh my God, you can do that? So I was like, okay, I love hip hop. That's it. And so I just died head first, when it was in Public Enemy, X-Clan, just all the great music from like 88, 89. I was just completely enveloped in that. I still listen to my rock and roll, but I was getting further and further away.
You jumped into that at the right year.
Because I was still listening to this again, the popular music that was hip hop. I listened to, I was listening to LL, I listened to Run DMC, but as far as listening to it and watching a video, but not necessarily going and buying a tape or having vinyl, because again, I didn't have like go outside and people are in a cipher, or I can go to park jams. I just didn't have that. So again, like most suburban children, I experienced hip hop through TV and radio.
Right.
That's just what it was. And like my older sister, whatever music, like she went to the Fresh Fest because she was old enough to go.
Right.
Even if she was a hip hop head, but just at that time she was a teenager, that was the popular music.
Right.
So summer Chicago, boom, came home. I was with it. Like I just really started just listening to everything I could listen to. And again, never thinking about rhyming, never even thinking that I was qualified to be a rapper, because I didn't at that age. I just hadn't been around anybody that was.
Right.
So my freshman year, I met my best friend who ended up being my first rhyme partner, Misha. If you watching, thank you again. Me and Misha and Tasha. Tasha was her little sister. We were like the 3 amigos. Everybody called we were the triplets. We were 3 little high yellow black girls, in Paulding County. I went to my first year in high school. I was in Dallas, Georgia. And then they built another school. So we went to that school first year. Like I was a cheerleader. I was in the art club. I was, Foreign Language Alliance. I was Miss East Paulding High School, like second runner up. Like I was a super girly girl,
right.
Like, yeah. But that 10th grade year, we had study hall, and Misha was like, you know what? We should start rapping. I'm like, okay, well, shit, I write poetry. And she was like, well, I'll write. I said, I don't need you to write my rhymes. So we just started writing like back and forth in 10th grade in study hall. And I had to have back surgery in the 10th grade. So I had to stop being a cheerleader. And then my family, we were trying to sell our house. So we moved closer into the city. So now I'm like in the like Smyrna, Vinings, like North Atlanta area. So I had access. I could like get on public transportation. I could go places. And then I went to high school where there were more black, like way more black students. So I was around people from New York, from LA, from Brooklyn, from New Jersey, just Philly. And I met these 2 Jamaican girls from Flatbush, Keisha and Kimmy. And me and Keisha and Kimmy were like this. And when I tell you, they just took me, their mom, and for Jamaicans, like a Jamaican parent to embrace a Yankee child, like their mother loved me. Like I couldn't go wrong. She let me call her mommy. She made my jerk chicken for the first time. So they exposed me to a lot more of, Brooklyn, New York culture. So that's my thing with Brooklyn started 93, 94 through Keisha and Kimmy. The first time I went to New York, I went to Brooklyn. I was on Ocean Ave. I was at the Junction by Brooklyn College, on the same block that the Bushwhackers are from. So I was around them so much. And then I was rapping. So at school, I'm the only girl at the lunchroom table. I rap. So then I meet this crew. One dude's from Queens, one's from Kansas City. Another one, I think he might have been from Staten, or he might have been from Queens too. So we were from all over the place. I think Donnie was from like Detroit. And I used to be a Wizzy with the Off the Dome. So I remember when I first started rhyming, and I was like, I'm okay, but they were like, oh my God, you're so good. So, and then I heard Redman, and that set it off for me.
Which joint?
Okay, so I saw him in the Scenario video eating the chicken wing, and I'm like, oh my God, he's so cute. Then I saw the Headbanger video, and then I heard Blow Your Mind. And I mean, when I tell you, I was like, I want to be the female version of him. I mean, they called me Red Woman in high school.
Wow.
I had the tissue in my nose, I was wearing cards. So everybody's like, no, it wasn't a female MC. My first favorite MC was Redman.
That's my favorite MC of all time.
Yeah, I mean, he is.
He's that dude.
And even like the Slick Rick connection, because Slick Rick was what made me lock in with hip hop, and that's his favorite MC too. So basically, boom, that was it. It was all about rapping. My rap partner, she was still at the other school, so I got to, be out every weekend. I would go down to 5 Points in Atlanta, and we would have on those stairs at Underground Atlanta, back when it used to be popping, 93, 94. There's this big crew called the Crackpots. And everybody would just descend Friday and Saturday nights on them stairs. And I'm talking about, it'd be like 40 dudes, and I'll be like the only girl, not battling. We're just rapping off the top. And I was like, okay, I didn't even want to have nothing in my head. So I freestyled off the top of the dome everywhere. Like I didn't even write the first 2 years, maybe. I didn't even write. I didn't even want to write. I'm like, I just got
off the head.
So I would meet people that would hear me, and they would just keep like amping me up. And I was a lot of people from I just kept meeting people from New York, and I just was influenced. I was around them. Most of my favorite, Special Ed, one of my favorite MCs. Big Daddy Kane, one of my favorite MCs. Bootcamp, Black Moon, huge influence. We talking 92, 93, Black Moon. So everything I was listening to, Brooklyn. Two of my closest friends, Brooklyn. I'm getting immersed in the culture. I already didn't have a pronounced accent. So a thing I used to do, I was a drama club kid, and in the 7th grade, and I created this character named Jackie Kowalski, and it was her, and I could just do the accent. And so I started doing the accent. So I would be around people, and I would listen to them talk, and I would mimic them, not making fun of them, but just loving like the dialect. I've always been into language.
Right.
I took Latin in high school. I took French in high school. I ended up taking Spanish in college. I learned a little bit of Amharic. I taught myself how to pray, make salat in Arabic. So I've always had this thing for language. So I would just listen to these regional dialects, which are languages.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Because slang, that is vernacular. That's part of language, right? And I listen to the accents, and then I try to, let me see if I can talk to them sounding the way that they talk, and see if they notice. And nobody ever said everything. So if I was around somebody that was from Philly, I would try, I'll get my little Philly on. If I was around somebody might be from DC, I would take that. If I was around somebody from Oakland. So I just became like, because I had this newscaster non-regional accent, I really could sound like anyone. I mean, everybody always knew I was from the South. I was proud of where I was from. I never, tried to pretend like that I wasn't Southern. But I just, even when I was little, before I rapped, I had a friend named AJ Marino, and her grandparents raised her, and they were from, I think, Boston. And they would even say when I was little, "Where are you from up north?" And I'm like, "No, ma'am, I'm from you don't have a Southern accent." So this has been a whole life thing before rapping was even part of the picture. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I just kept getting embraced by people from New York. And then I started dating, like that was the real thing. Cause for me, when I date a dude and I'm just all up in his skin, I want to smell like him. I want to dress like him. I want to talk. I mean, just his slang. So I just I was able to just absorb everything around me and make it my own. I've always referred to myself as an amalgam. And then being really universal. And I mean, Rakim said it ain't where you from, it's where you at. And the thing about me, anything I got into, like even when I started rhyming, I remember when I was told, like, you're not a real MC if you don't freestyle off the top of the head. So I'm like, well, I don't ever want to be considered a sucker MC. Whack. So I'm gonna learn how to freestyle. I used to be washing the dishes and I would just be freestyling to myself. I mean, I took it really, really seriously. I went back, I studied the history. I'm like, well, I wasn't here during this time, but I need to know because I need to know the elements. I need to know about this. I played around. I wasn't really good at graph, but I learned how to do like little basic, simple, tag. I could throw a little something up. I, wasn't the best at b-boying, but b-girling, but I tried. I love house music, so I wanted DJing is probably the only thing I never really touched. So I wanted to make sure that I was there. I was at the shows. I was in the front row. I'm rapping along every word. So I am a hip hop head. Like it's not something where somebody took me in a boardroom and they're like, we're going to create this rapper and this is what you're going to do. And this is what you're going to talk about. My shit is organic. Right. So, I mean, everything I've done from when I was Rasta, I'm like, oh, dreads are cool. No, Rastafari. Oh, okay, let's explore that. I keep into it to the point where I tried Naya Bingy for 7 years. I had a Naya Bingy husband, but baby had a Naya Bingy sanctification ceremony. I wore the head, covered head to toe, head wrap, in public, no pants. I mean, no pants, only skirts and dresses. I mean, as a sociologist, it's funny that I ended up being a sociology major because in sociology, when you go into groups and cultures and communities, there's a thing called cultural relativism, which is you can't judge a culture based on your opinions and thoughts. You have to look at what the culture is based on, and then you judge is not the right word, but for lack of a better word, like if I'm gonna go into like a Sikh community, I can't be like, oh, based on me, if I was like a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, I can't judge it based on that. I have to look at it from the culture and the mores of that group of people.
Right.
So I always dealt with everything. Like if I'm going to be in something, then I'm going to live it, talk it, walk it, read it. So everything I've done, I mean, I got my receipts. Like, well, how are you speaking in patois? Because I got a baby with a Jamaican, and I was Rasta for 7 years, and I sat up in the Naya Bingy Isis next to Mama Bubbles and Mama Farika, Naya Bingy elders.
Right.
And I was part of the EWF, and I got baptized in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, and so I did all the things. So, and people have seen that with my music career. I mean, I used to study with the Nuwabian. So when I met Doom, that was a thing that we connected with even more than the music because he already loved the music. Then he found out I used to have a Ninty braid and I was going to the classes on the land. What? So yeah, that's part of it.
That's dope. I'm really glad you shared all that. I mean, because I've always wondered, and I'm like, I've always tried to make
the nature versus nurture.
And it's funny because I have a similar story. I was going to Cleveland for the summers and getting a lot of different vibes. So it's just nice to hear that I wasn't the only one. Like if it was
authentic, I was all up in it. It didn't matter where it was from because I never got to spend the time out west, but I still got. Like I had people out there that would send me stuff. Like I knew about MERS like, 90. My friends, he sent me a tape. It had like Abstract Tribe Unique on it. It had T Love. It had Figures of Speech, which is where Ava DuVernay, who used before she was a film director, she was a MC. She was in a group called Figures of Speech. Who else? Murs. So just that whole living legends, like stuff that during the 90s when we didn't have the internet the way we have it now, people had to send you tapes.
Yeah.
So I'm like listening to Morocco Mike in like 98, 99, you know what I mean? So, but I'm here and I don't really know nobody to listen to Murs, but because my friend sent me that tape, like I didn't even know what the name of the album was. He just taped a bunch of stuff. So I always had, people everywhere. I like dated a guy from Oakland. So he put me up on like A1 Yola and Big Lurch, and you know what I'm saying? So I got exposed
from here.
I got exposed by, what I was around. And then I'm from Memphis. So I knew about Ball and G. I listened to everything from, like I said, with that cultural relativism. Like if it was good, if it had elements of where I know this is authentic, even if it's not something I would do, it's an authentic thing.
Of course,
I could rock with it. So I used to be a very much backpacker, but the older I got, to where I really started looking at things from the culture that they came out of and the environment that they came out of. And then, okay, I get it, but I still don't like it. And other stuff's like, I like that. I don't care. I don't care, what the backpackers say. Because it's important to, you've gotta if you like it, it don't matter if somebody else does it. And if you don't like it, it doesn't matter if everybody likes it. Facts. You know that, because we both have very strong opinions about things. And I just feel like, hey, if it's not for you, it's not for you. And that's cool.
Yeah, no, it's dope though that you got a little bit from everything. I just think that's wonderful because it helps make us complete people in the long run. You know what I'm saying? So go back to Atlanta, like 92, 93, 94, because you're speaking on the Atlanta that I knew about when I was up in CT and everybody was trying to get to. Like in 96, 98, 99, my man was down in Atlanta. He just moved down there. He's like, yo, you got to come down, fam. Like, he's like, his jobs, houses are good. You can get a good job without a degree, this, that, and the third. And like, I was dancing a lot of house and hip hop at the time, 93, 94. And my man went to Morehouse, come back and be like, and here's the thing, we all wanted to go to Atlanta because that was like the whole, like the whole
it was too. Yo, like I was here, I got to watch like Outkast from the beginning.
Right.
And for me being from the South, I'm like, they are lyrical. And I was just like, this is the best thing I've ever heard. Cause I always liked the hey, shout it, what's your name? I kind of always liked that. I kind of made the hairs on the back, the goals, and, you know what I mean? I just liked it because it was just so, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, because again, I wanted the blackest experience that I could have because I grew up in such a very white suburban area. So once I read Malcolm X's autobiography and I realized, well, shit, I was the mascot too. I was the mascot too. Yeah, and I'm thinking, oh, we're the same. And then, middle school hits, and what I say, I had my nigga moment. Like they made sure I knew that, oh, you're black and you're different.
Yeah, I had one of those. So we got to talk later because I did the suburban school thing too. I was like, and for me, it was also a challenge because I didn't quite fit in with some of the black kids, like some of the. And then,
I had that too, but I was a cool kid, and because I said, when you rap and when you have these other little talents, you kind of can. I was always I was never an outcasted person, and I may not have necessarily been the most popular person, but I wasn't no social pariah. I was a cool motherfucker. So you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I always had a nice little middle, a little man, but I like the weirdos too. Like,
Yeah, I
so
mean that's dope.
I fucked with everybody. Like, I might want to hang out with the goth kids, and then I was cool with some of the preps and some of the jocks, and you know what I mean? Because we were just, I could find a way to relate to everybody.
Yeah.
Like, I could really find something in common with damn near anybody because I'm always looking for common ground.
Common ground, yeah. So ATL at that time, it was different. Told you it was a destination spot for me, for a lot of my friends, and it was almost like, to me, it was like New York South in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and that's another reason why that influence was so heavy on me, because I didn't even have to live in New York to be surrounded.
Right.
By
So
New
what
York.
happened? What happened? Because now I don't. I get into the airport and I want to like end it all, man. Like it's not. I have. It's not the same, is it? I mean, it's.
Atlanta is very different, and I think that gentrification plays a really big role in that too. I also think that because the cost of living in other places, and then also people saying, hey, Atlanta's this black mecca, come down to Atlanta. We've got so many people, like, you know, people that went to school here in the 90s, they graduated, they moved on, and it just seems like the, you know, Generation X, right? So I blame the millennials. No,
I blame them for everything too.
I blame them. It's weird. Like, I know the Olympics was kind of like the tippy top, like the kind of beginning of the end. Like, once they got rid of Freaknik, because I was here before Freaknik was regulated, and I very much remember being an 11th grader out in the street with like open liquor in a brown paper bag, walking by cops who were like cheering us on and didn't do shit. I remember being in the gridlock, you know, on Peachtree Street. It was fun as fuck here. And then the Olympics, they got the bid for the Olympics. And Bill Campbell and Eldrin Bell and all of them, you know, they all, you know, it just, the city changed. I think, you know, the government, the politics, you know, that changed the landscape a lot of the city. I mean, I was, you know, in my early 20s, and I wasn't necessarily the most politically active person, but I can definitely look back and see the Olympics. That was a very pivotal point in things changing. Atlanta used to also have like a lot of music conferences. The Gavin came here. We had Jack the Rapper. Also back in the 90s, you could come down here from New York and everybody made out like I would see so many rappers in clubs. And because I was a hip hop head, I knew who they were. Like, and I would, you know, and I wouldn't blow up spots, but I was just like, yo, P, you know, I met so many people because you could come down here and just like chill and have a good time.
Yeah, just kind of be on the low.
So I think because everybody heard that, you know, what did he say? Gipp said this, crooked ass Jackson got the whole country thinking that my city is the big lick for 96 on Get Up, Get Out. That's a real thing. Like, everybody came down here and they ruined it. They sucked it dry. Yeah. They did. That's one thing I think changed it. And then again, like I said, those people, you know, the Gen X people that, you know, graduated and left and, you know, went on to do whatever they did. I think too, we don't really get to see a whole lot of like real Atlanta. Like, a lot of people you meet down here are not going to be from Atlanta. Like, meeting a native Atlantan is like such a rare thing. It's a huge transplant city.
Right.
It really is. So some of the stuff that we're seeing is not really Atlanta culture. It's transplant culture.
Right.
I love Atlanta. I remember, you know, listening to the Edward J tapes, and I remember when we had Booty Shake. I like Booty Shake music, you know, at the time. You know what I mean? We were, you know, it because it was fun, and you were at the skating rink, and you were meeting, you know, guys was talking to you, and you just. There's just something about that part of it where it wasn't so much about the music as it was about the culture. And I don't even really know how to explain it to somebody who didn't experience it, but I'm so glad that I got to, just like I kind of wish I had been able to experience Memphis. Like, I didn't get that because I left at 12 and I haven't been back much as an adult. So I don't really like Atlanta, Memphis culture. I've just in the last decade, I've linked with artists out there. They're younger than me, but they're on what I'm on. So if I had stayed there, I would have still found my tribe. Right. Because there really is a really great, thriving, actual, real hip hop scene there. And
that's dope.
Venues and everything. I just didn't know about it because I wasn't there.
You're right. Yeah, you had left.
And I think that's everywhere because, again, you're going to always have, we can do the 85%, 10%, 5%. You're going to always have, the masses of people who are going to go along with whatever is popular. Then you're going to have the people who, determine what popular is for everybody else and try to kind of gatekeep. And then you're going to have those people who march to their own drum. And they're the real people who create culture that get, maybe not, they don't get the credit for it, or the people who may get, get vampired or vamped for their, innovation and their ideas because they're not even looking at it as something, I want to capitalize off of this. It's just what I'm doing and this is me being me.
Right.
So I at 50, when I go out to events and I'm just like, ooh, I remember it's not fun like it used to be.
Yeah.
And like I said, I blame those damn millennials.
Yo.
If you were born, when does millennial start? 82?
I think it's 82.
We gonna give it 83. 83. And then like the kids that were born in the 90s are like cool as fuck. Like the babies that we gave, like the babies that the Generation X gave birth to. Because they're us. If we had been on what we got on in the 90s from birth.
Right.
So it's like when I see like the Mikes and the Neontes and this younger girl, even like Earl, and just even the way that how receptive they are to me, because they respect what we did in the 90s and they love it and they've taken and done their own thing with it, but they still respect the architects and still reach back and build those bridges. And I absolutely love them.
Right.
I really, really do, because they really do get it. They're just doing it in their own voice.
In their own way. You gotta flip it in your own way, but the respect is there. Like it's cool for me. Like my daughter's 30, so my oldest, and she sends me like music, like, what do you think about this and Wu-Tang or whatever. And I'm on the new Inspector Deck joint, and I sent it to her, and she's like, "Oh my God, that's so great." She's like, "You're famous." I'm like, "Not quite, but like, but she got it.
Raised her on that stuff, and that's what it is.
Yeah, she got it though. You know what I mean? She may not listen to stuff, but she gets it. Like, you know what I mean?
My 19-year-old gets it, like, because he grew up, around mom doing shows, and he's been around Dell and Homeboy Sandman since he was so little he don't even remember. But when I come home, when he was here before he went away to school, I'd come home. This dude is in here listening to Stevie Wonder. Then one day he's listening to Doom. Not me telling him to listen to it. Then he got Illmatic on. Then he's got his, he likes Tyler. He likes his own stuff too. But, come in, he's listening to Luther Vandross, or he might be listening to like the New Edition. I'm like, so the kid grew up with an appreciation for music and knowing what the good stuff was. He doesn't really listen to a lot of mainstream music, even for his own generation type stuff. He doesn't listen to the mainstream. He listens to, like the Steve Lacy's and all of them. I can't think of all the names, but just people who I don't necessarily know all of them. But like even like Tizo Touchdown. I love Tizo. That's what I'm talking about. Like I just love the fact that they're creating characters and they're having fun with it. Like it's not just like I'm gonna rap a bunch of big words. Like no, you're writing songs. They're actually well structured songs. You're writing them well. You do have content in them. You are lyrical. You created a character. Like I think a lot of MCs, like when you don't create a persona outside of yourself, you take yourself way too seriously, and then you never really get to have a break. It's like I love that I know how to put Star in the closet when I need to and step forward and be, KL. That's really, really important. And for my mental health as well. My boundaries with that are really, really, really good. And that's something I'm sure that came with age.
That makes sense.
Because you know, you gotta have a balance. Because if not, you can sometimes be like a little bit insufferable. Like I know people that are just like, man, I need you to like, it's okay to, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to not just take a,
Right. Not be
you gotta be
on.
on 24/7.
Be on all the time.
Yeah.
Yo, go back for a second to you said something. I did a post on it recently. I wanted to get your take on it. So you spit, man. You spit off the head, battles, you get it in. Spit bars. I mean, Barbarella's right here, right? But you made a point about being able to write songs. And I did a post on this recently. I was like, yo, everybody just rapping over my head. I was like, bars, 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 bars. And I guess maybe it swung too far one way. So people are like, all right, bars, 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 bars. But like as I get older, maybe, I don't know, but it's like I'm just hearing a whole lot of nothing. There's like big words and stuff. And it's cool. And then I said, can you actually write a song that I want to listen to again and again?
Something.
And most people,
right,
a lot of your contemporaries came on and be like, yo, agree. But if being an internet or whatever, post got caught up and it's like, fuck you mean? This is about bars. This is about bars. What are you, a goofy? Bars, 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 bars. And it was just like, whatever. So what's your take on that? Because to me, I think some of the dopest MCs didn't rap over my head. And to me, you know what I'm saying? I'm a pretty intelligent guy, but I don't want to hear I don't want to have to pull out the dictionary every time you're talking.
So big words does not equal bars. Bars for me means you say something in such a clever way and you put the word and the thoughts together like, oh, I don't just say, oh, because you say lyrical, miracle, spiritual, or you rap fast. Are you saying something? Does it make sense? Like, is it connecting to a complete thought? To me, that's a bar.
Right.
And you can say it real simple, or you can say it real abstract. You know who's a perfect example? It's so easy. True Goy by himself. And you know how dope that song is that I didn't even realize until like this year. True Goy was the only one that rapped on that song because he wasn't as abstract. And I feel like that's why he got that whole song, because we needed to know, hey, I can do this. I love doing it, but I can do this.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know what I mean? It's so easy to me. It's like, listen, that, and let me tell you something. To be able to simply explain something is more complicated than giving a complex explanation. When I first started rapping, I used to be very abstract because there were certain things I was not comfortable talking about. So I would like circle rap. I would rap in circles.
Yeah.
And when I did Respect Due, that was all about me being able to not dumb myself down, but find a more simple, straightforward way to say what I needed to say. And I had to share some personal things to do that. But at the end of the day, I feel like I have found a great balance between having intelligent, intellect, consciousness, bars, and then, relatableness, because people don't want to feel like they're being preached to. I love Nipsey Hussle so much because Nip was talking about real shit. He was conscious, whatever, I hate that term just because there's a stigma to it, but not actually being conscious, right? And he talked about stuff that the street niggas could relate to at the same time. Then he's talking about buying insurance policies and talking about Dr. Sabi, but he's a sick of rolling 60 Crips. He to me is a beautiful example of it don't have to be complicated to be a bar. To me, a bar is wisdom, and wisdom doesn't have to be a bunch of 6-syllable words.
Prodigy is considered one of the illest MCs of all time, and he wasn't
absolutely.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He told Big Twins, he was like, yo, you don't have to go all crazy with it. He was like, keep it simple.
And if people can understand what you're saying, they're going to listen to you.
Right.
And it don't have to be ABC 1, 2, 3.
Right.
It's like having book smarts and street smarts, common sense and book sense. That's I think the best way to describe that. Now, cool, being barred up, that's great, but really, what are you talking about though? Because
That's what I say.
I read books. So I read books. The books have plots, they have character development, they have a beginning, they have a middle, they have an end. Sometimes there's a preface, sometimes there's an epilogue. So I'm a writer. Before I ever rapped, dealing with parts of speech and English and grammar, literary, like we're dealing with language. So there's still, like, it's art, but there's still language rules.
Right.
Not for, like, rules,
feel you.
right? So if you're telling me a story, and so I was walking down the street and then this purple monkey ate an orange and my girlfriend's black, you sound like a schizophrenic. No disrespect to schizophrenic people. Like, what the are you talking about?
Right,
You
right.
don't make sense. And I don't like shit that don't make sense.
Right.
I don't. And it doesn't mean that I don't understand it and, oh, it's just above my intellect. Because I will pull out a dictionary. I'll pull out a thesaurus and I'll pull out an etymological dictionary. So yeah, I'm a researcher. So bring it. You're not talking about shit, bro. Because I already analyzed and broke it down.
Yeah.
Because I know what you're talking about, because I know it, because I've lived it and I've studied it intensely. So you're not gonna pull that shit on me. You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it sound good.
It's and the beat's good, and you're like, do you realize damn, this person didn't say
It's nice
shit.
to have variety.
Huh?
It's nice to have variety.
Yeah, I mean,
the different albums in the 90s, they all had, you had the joint for the chicks, you had like the love, you got the love song, you had like a reminiscence song, you had like a ooh extra aggressive song, everybody had a blunt song. That's why I love Redman, because when you look at his albums, the way that he puts them together, he's telling a story. Like Equinox by Organized Confusion, they're telling a story. And it doesn't always have to be like with the narrator and, but it's like arrangement of albums, the way songs fit together and flow into each other. This is art. And even abstract art has, people act like that there's not order and chaos.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's always an order and a structure and a format for everything, unless you just straight anarchy. And even like the absence of boundaries is a boundary.
Right.
So,
we're about to show some bars right here. If I can pull, I got like this new software. It's better than that bullshit IG. Here we go.
The brightest star in the sky, on my do or die, hotter than July. Shot stimuli, left lane, left brain, right time, wrong place. Say grace, you a plate, I'm starving, you getting ate. The backbender, tantric yogi finds your center. The bare agenda, pure love with no agenda. The honey coated, you wonder if she deep throated. You like it but won't promote it. Full of shit and she know it. The all seeing, empathic, feel it deepen. She ain't sleeping, fire starter with heat seeking. Thought missiles, I crochet and shoot pistols, blow whistles on crooked government officials. None can.
Woo! Okay.
Now all of that is shit that I really lived and did, and I put it together in a way that people could hear. Oh shit! Like a yogi could listen to that. Somebody that crocheted could listen to that.
Yeah.
Somebody who, and that's what Respect Do was about. It was about me taking my lyrical, miracle, spiritual, and my abstractness, and okay, I am really saying something, and I'm about to break it down and show you, because they say if you can't explain it to a 5-year-old, you don't know it well enough. And I really, every time I think about something, see, I used to have a real hard time when we had to do book reports. We had to do summaries. Summaries used to whoop my ass because I wanted to give all the details instead of just the bullet points. So brainstorming and doing summaries and all of how when you have to write and they make you do your, your rough draft and all of that, that helped me so much as an MC, because it's poetry. It's poetry that's set to music. it's rhyming, it's iambic pentameter, it's couplets and stanzas and all these things. These are poetry.
There's order, like you said.
Yeah.
There's order.
Bars or stanzas. That's poetry.
Right.
Like, you can't get away from it.
Yo, so I'll say this. First of all, and I didn't say this earlier when you first came on, like, one of the illest MCs I ever heard. And I personally typically don't care when people flip industry tracks. Like, that's not something I like. I like, and I just like hearing your original shit.
Right.
When I heard all the joints from Respect, that's my favorite project. Like, yo, that shit is crazy. And and you pick some of my favorite beats all the time. Like because here's the thing, I hold the Broken Language shit in high esteem. Like I've heard people flip that before. I'm like, let's get triggered.
Right. So with Respect Due, they were all from artists who I had a personal connection to in my development as an MC. Like, I got to meet Smooth and Trigger like back in the day in Atlanta. I remember Smooth the Hustler came and performed at Club Flavors. I mean, I studied, he was one of the MCs that I studied. Brooklyn, like, it was saying it. And then I ended up, me and DV Alias Christ, years later meeting. We met at a lyricist lounge and then reconnected through social media. So it's kind of like
DV.
Yeah, so I mean that is I will cut somebody to the white meat for him. So it went from me listening to, listening to Smooth and Trigger, meeting DV, and them being the influence that they were on me and us and me and them having that impact they had on me. So that's why that was the first one I did, Broken Language. And I went and listened to what everybody, I listened to maybe 5 of them. So I was like, okay, I gotta approach this. I didn't want to do the songs exact because most people, okay, I'm gonna rap just like they did. So I did do it, but not the whole song.
Yeah, like I know you sprinkled it in.
Right.
But and that's what's dope about it. Like, because that's a hard beat to not do that to, though. Like, because the mind wants to go like the the whack ass wax or whatever. So for you to like sprinkle a little Mrs. Dash,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And
then keep some nutritional yeast flakes.
Yeah.
But I want also for people to know that, like, I mean, as a woman, everybody always wants to compare me to other women that rap. And no, I love, like, my foremothers, like, I hold them to the highest. But I always was like, I'm never trying to battle a woman. I want to outdo these dudes. Like, that's who I want to be better than. I never want like, even like women beef. Like, I just don't even want to, like, that's my sister. Like, you know what I'm saying? So my thing was, I'm never going to go for her head because there's too many lanes. So why would we squabble and fight when we're the lesser in number and it could be 15 of us and that still won't be too much. Right. But the dudes, I want to make niggas upset when
Stop for a second. This is
fucking dope. And she write her own rhyme. Like, that was always my motivation. So I was very driven by men that I listened to rapping because I wanted to exceed what they had done.
Do you get bothered or upset? So I personally get bothered. It burns me up. So we did the promo joint yesterday. Got a lot of love, whatever. Star, she's so nice. And I go through the comments and I see a couple comments. One of the nicest female MCs. I fucking want to like stab somebody because to me, it's just not football. This ain't rugby. This is just words. So what the fuck is the difference? Like why is the bar like
it's just the patriarchy. And I mean, again, as somebody who used to use FemC, but as an acronym, female energy, mastering creativity to elevate eternal, and then having it turned and flipped on me with people thinking that I was trying to segregate women and have us be, you know, femcs versus MCs. So that's really why I stopped using it, because it was taken out of context. Because for me, I was like, no, I'm the femc, period. It was never, but I don't call other women femcs. That was my shit.
It's you.
You know, like an honorary title.
Right.
So I think just because the nature of humans is a lot of us we're in it's duality, and gender is one of the 7 immutable laws of the universe. Okay, so we have gender, you know, your plugs, the sockets, and everything. You know, gender is so I kind of, it's a fight I've been like fighting, because it makes me so angry that I know that I could write a rhyme in the exact same style as Biggie, and someone is still gonna say I sound like a conscious woman that raps, because it's almost like they just can't. Maybe it's a visual thing. I really don't know why we do that. And it's not that I don't want to be a woman, or I don't want to be recognized for being a woman, but it's not a handicap. And I think sometimes, oh, she's good for a girl. No, I
don't understand it, man.
For a girl, but yeah, I don't know that we'll ever get away from that, because it's gonna have to start at the top. But I think
also, I mean, again, you alluded to it earlier. I mean, the numbers are different. Like, so for every one female MC,
I mean, there are no women in hip hop that should be beefing with each other ever.
Yeah, y'all should be.
Too many. There's too many, and I refuse to do it. And it's when Sparky D passed, and I heard Roxanne Shante talk at her funeral, talking about how they would battle on stage, but they were friends, but they had to hide that they were friends, and the fact that Sparky checked for her and looked out for her because she was a 14 years, she was a baby. Yeah, and the fact that she's on stage battling this grown woman, she's 14, she out there by herself saying, you know, she was in a group home and they tried to not pay her, and Sparky pay her out of her money. That's what it's about. Yeah, we rapping it, yeah, but you're not my competition, because I will never not wear Clarks just because I like Nikes. And I would never say that Clarks are better than Nikes either. Nor will I ever say Nikes are better than Clarks, because Clarks are Clarks, Nikes are Nikes, Adidas are Adidas, New Balance are New Balance, and I love them all, and they all have their place in my closet. And there's no, I don't have to choose one. I could have them all. Right. Like when I saw Miss Hill, when I saw Lauren and Erykah Badu, and I'm like, any woman that is in music, that if you cannot see the power in 2 megalithic, iconoclastic powers together on one stage, working together, why would you not want to? Like when me and Ty and Heroin, perfect example. Like nobody else has done that since.
Nope.
Like, why are y'all not trying to, you know, okay, Che Noir and Love the Genius, but that was 2, but they did it. I was like, yes, sisters, yes, that's how you do it.
Yeah,
yes. Like, why don't see that. Trying to be the only one, baby girl? It's always gonna be somebody better than you.
Yeah.
But there's always gonna be somebody that likes you more, regardless of that fact. So it don't matter. It's like when you're going out, like 3 women going out, and then 3 dudes going out. Like this guy is going, you know, it's always going to be a girl that is going to be liked more than another girl, whatever. It's always somebody prettier, you know, taller, smarter, whatever. But if somebody likes you, it don't matter what I have. If you're their type, if you're what they like, there's nothing I can do to take them away from you.
Right.
I just wish that because I don't share my spotlight, because my spotlight is my spotlight, but I share the spotlight because my light is mine. So I'm not worried about anybody taking my light, because they can't.
Right.
But I've always been, because you know, I always had, all my OGs were men. I didn't have like a direct woman that had been doing this before me that I could call on when I was coming up. I had big brothers and they were great, and I'm so grateful for that. So, you know, At one time, I was the girl in Atlanta, and that was it. But anytime I had a stage or a space that I could bring somebody with me, I did. And I don't always see that done. And it's just like y'all just missed the plot, really.
Yeah,
And
I think also like I don't know if it's like I won't say an agenda, but I feel like we as people people like to see beef.
they
So
like mess.
it's not a great story to
They
see
like
all you
drama. They
working
like mess.
together.
They like beef. And yeah,
Right?
I
How
mean,
good is it to see you guys all working together? Like, that's corny. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
is it though?
no, of course not. I'm
You
saying,
know what I'm saying? Like it's like, wow, us getting along. But
but that's, isn't it? I mean, look at the WNBA right now. Nobody's talking about basketball. They're talking about all the drama going on. So we like that shit.
and that's because they're women, and that is the patriarchy. And that's something, Tamal, I don't know. We may not be alive to see that change.
We will not be alive to see
Yeah,
that change.
that's gonna be something that's gonna come with evolution. Like we are still in our human evolution, we are still very behind,
Facts.
very very primitive, as much as human beings like to laud themselves, even like Americans specifically. When you go to other parts of the world, I mean, there are certain things like I'm like, dang, they're so ahead. I remember when I went to England in 2019 and they already had like the tap card. We didn't even have the tap here. Like there were places where you couldn't, if you didn't have the chip, if you didn't have the tap, you couldn't even use your card in 2019, and we hadn't even started doing that here. It's crazy.
Right.
So, but I think too, that has to do with political structure, the religion of what's, are we a Christian nation? Are we whatever? And I feel like that is still a control. It's still a control thing. It's still a control mechanism. And every time you see people starting to kind of evolve and grow, and then they always throw something to kind of try to like spin back, because they do it with Black people a lot. Like whenever you see people start waking up, then somebody got lynched, somebody, a cop shot somebody. Because they have to bring you back, or they'll like start putting out like slavery movies again, or they'll do like civil rights movies, and it's stuff to make you upset and bring you back, and it'll bring you right back.
Yeah,
so that's how, I mean, yeah, it's annoying, but I know when somebody's really listening to me by who they compare me to. Like when I recently reposted that, I don't know if it was the day of the week I chose, what the moon was in the right sign or what, but that when I posted Brooklyn Zoo again a couple of weeks ago, I was like at 7,000 followers. I kid you not, within a week and a half, I was over 10,000.
Yeah, it's weird when shit gets caught up like that. But that shit,
I
hadn't seen anything on your page in a while, and I saw that, and I'm like, oh shit. So it did the damn thing, even though I had heard it like,
exactly. And the thing is, because the world is so big, and we don't know what the algorithm, how that's really working. Because I mean, I miss a lot of stuff. Like there's people I follow that I never see. So I was just playing around. Like I wasn't even like, it wasn't like I was doing studies. I just said, you know what? All right. I just got this equipment over here. I'm about to start recording myself again, and recording myself for the first time so I can get my catalog up. Let me just throw some out here to see if people are even interested in what I have to say.
Right.
So I did the Whatever Man, and that was cool. But then when I did Brooklyn Zoo, when I did The Enemy, that shit is almost like at 100,000 views. And I just don't even, I had a page when we first connected. My page got hacked. I got a message saying that I had violated a copyright or something. And so when I clicked on the form, it took me to a page where I had to log in. And because I was like at work, I was like in my mail truck. So I wasn't really paying attention. And if I had looked at the message, I would have seen that they misspelled something and they didn't use a period. And I would have known that's how like when there's grammatical errors. Yeah. That's the first. So they weren't trying to like, oh, you want some money, or it wasn't that. They told me I have copyright violated. Remember back when you used to post music and everything was flagged? So that's what happened to me. And this guy, he was in like Turkey or something, I think. And I went back and forth with him in my messages, and he wouldn't give me my page back. So that for me to have organically got back, and then I wasn't even 10,000 then, to be like at 12, almost 13 now, just from posting old news.
Yo, I always say, man, your old stuff is new to somebody else, man. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And only like 6% of the people on your page actually see your stuff. That's like a stat.
So like the more followers you have, the more you're it's still 6%.
It's still 6%. It doesn't mean anything. Like, so I mean, it's tweaked out, but they've changed a lot of things, how they do it and stuff. So but yeah, so yeah, don't, because as artists, a lot of artists hesitate to post old shit because it's old.
I'm like,
flip that shit, yo.
Because I mean, I went back, you know what? I went back and listened to Rhyme Fluid, which I wrote in 2001, and I was like, yo, I'm dope. And I always been dope. And I don't think I really had embraced that. I was very critical and very hard on myself, but I've been recently going back, listening. I'm like, you know, I'm fucking good, yo. I really am. I'm really
shit, man.
Looking at it objectively. Like if I was somewhere and somebody paid this for me and it wasn't me, I'm like, damn, you scared.
Yeah. I think
but it took me a long time. I mean, a lot of artists I know, we're overthinkers and we're in our head and we're so critical of ourselves. I don't think we ever. Yeah, I think the people who are the most like super extra confident are sometimes not necessarily the best artists. They just really believe in themselves.
Right. No, it's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's true.
And the tortured artist who just doesn't think they ever get it right. You know, will you ever in your life know how good you are? And I feel like I have gotten a lot better. I hated my voice.
My wife just said she loves your voice. She goes, "Oh, I love her voice. Her voice is so dope." So it's. Well, you know what's funny? Like a lot of people. I lost my train of thought. What are we talking about, dude? So I have no idea what I was gonna say.
You said your wife liked my voice, and then you said something about a lot of people.
I don't know.
You're saying people don't like their voices. I think that's.
So artists like you're in your head and like hacking through shit and like overanalyzing and stuff like that. Just let that shit fly, man. Because sometimes, here's what I was gonna say. I get a lot of DMs, music submissions, and people hit me up and they're like, "Yo, son, you gonna really love this shit. Fire, got that heat. But it's always the people. Those people always set themselves up for failure because music is really trash. I always say the people that should be sending their music to me don't, because they're in their fucking head and they're like, "Oh, this ain't dope. He ain't got it." And I'm like, "Yo, send me your shit." So it's funny because so many super confident artists are not very good, but confidence can take you a long way. You can barge your way in.
With work, I think that if somebody maybe starts out and they're not that great, but they can definitely get better, but they have to put in the work. And,
right.
Because again, it's still art, it's subjective, like what you like. And some people like that, auctioneer style rapping. I don't want to listen to that shit. I need to be able to dance. I like drums. I like to dance. So I don't want to listen to somebody, rap sound like they're an auctioneer. I personally don't. Doesn't mean that they're, not, I'm sure that, you might be really good at putting words together, but I like
songs.
Like nigga shit. Like, I'm sorry. I just like nigga shit. I want to have fun. I want to dance. I like to dance. God damn it. Like, can I get lyrics and we can dance too? Like,
that's what it used to be.
Like,
that's what it used to be.
I don't want to just listen to like a funeral dirge. But it's deep because I mentioned, Henry Thoreau and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Yo, I want to we're gonna get out of here soon, but I want to and this probably could be even an entire show, but I do want you to touch on or share about your relationship with Doom, because what's interesting about that is that like I didn't know until later. I didn't put two and two together that you were the same star that was on the Doom joints. I mean, I was just ignorant and didn't know.
Well, it's not completely your fault because in true villain fashion, I was only listed as just star on one.
And yeah, it was something else. Yeah.
So then they misspell star, which has been the bane of my existence with things like Spotify, because they don't link STARHH to STAHHR. Like that's totally separate. And then I've been trying to Lex Records. If anybody that knows anybody at Lex Records, can you please, pretty please, somebody please tell them, just please fix the metadata. Please. I beg. Please. Help us out. That's all. It's a small thing. But then little known lore, Guinness's is actually a star song, and Still Dope was an Angelica song, because Angelica was supposed to be my metal face alter ego. Like she was gonna have a mask and everything. It was something that we were working on.
That's what I was gonna ask you
about. So I didn't know that he was going to, but that's the bill. That's the fun. But see, it gives me something for the rest of my life to talk about. So it's a gift that keeps on giving, because for the rest of my life, I get to give people oh my God, I didn't know that was you moment, even though it's the same voice.
Yeah, that was like it totally threw me off. And I saw the differences in names and shit like that. And it did make me chuckle a little bit, because I'm like, oh, this totally seems like some Doom shit.
It is like 100%.
Like, yo, real quick, who? Because that's the next question on here. Tell us about Angelica. Like.
So when he brought the concept of Angelica to me, I think we were on the phone, and he was like, yo, I had this dream, and we were flying, and you were shooting out these blue lasers. And he's like, there's a character, from Spider-Man and Friends. Her name is Firestar. He's like, and that is you, Angelica Jones. So I went to the comic book store. I bought every Firestar book they had. I got to share something real quick. Hold on. Let's just go with the story. So this is how amazing. Fuck. I think it's on my desk.
Do your thing. Salute y'all. PA Dre Beats, Jamil Honesty.
All right. So
what up?
I went to this is not it. Fuck.
Take your time.
He just sent it to me. I'm trying. I don't know what I know I put it on my desk. Hold on.
What up, everybody?
Oh, here it is. Okay. I was about to say, I know I got it. All right. So I did this interview with Memphis, my brother Romello. And I was telling Romello about, about the Firestar comics months ago. And he just hit me up recently. So I went to the comic book store. Now there are 4 issues in the Firestar. It's a 4-issue limited series. Look what Romello found for me. And he got it signed by the woman who does Firestar's voice. It's the 4th and final of the collection.
Dope. That's
and
dope.
It means so much, and she's still alive too. She's
dope.
Still living. Yeah, the lady who she's an actress, but she's been in some other stuff. Her name is Kathy. Is it Kathy Garver? Yeah, Kathy Garver. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. As a kid, I watched cartoons, but I don't even remember Firestar from Spider-Man and Friends, because I think something about boys, like male children, when y'all get into stuff like that, like you remember everything. I was like, oh, I like that song. Did you know that the sample came from? I'm like, hey, bro, I just like the song. I'm not. Yeah. But I thank you. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not saying women don't do that, but more men. Like, if you say, oh, I like so and so and so and so. Oh yeah, that sample. And I know I used to think it was mansplaining, but now, and that's because I've evolved more in the way I look at things. They're just excited that they know where the sample comes from, and the fact that you said you like something, they want to share that with you. I used to take it as, stop trying to tell me shit about hip hop. Like, I don't know nothing, nigga. I know. Fuck. I ain't asked. Why you sample clearancing? But now that I know that that's a love language, I handle it a little bit better. It still can be annoying sometimes, but it's okay. I understand. It's just somebody trying to relate, and so I'm better. I'm getting better. I'm working on myself. I really am, because it's not always about somebody trying to attack you or sun you. It's really not. It's about people sharing, right? So he met her at, I think he said he was like at a comic book convention or something, but he used to collect, and he had this. And he sent it to me, and this is probably one of the coolest things ever. So anyway, I went and got the comic books. I read all three of them, and when I was reading her backstory, her mother died young. She was raised by her father. She had this power she didn't realize that she had. People were always trying to get it from her. She didn't know, she's like Firestarter, which is also my favorite movie. Like Charlie, like if you listen to Mother Nature with a Molotov, I use clips from Firestarter because I was always just back off. I've always related. So the fact that Doom, again, knowing me as like his little sister as well as an artist, he was spot fucking on. I am 100% Firestar. And then, of course, the series, Dr. Doom is there. You got Spider-Man, you guys. So they all go together. But I was like, hell yeah, I'm definitely Angelica. So, that was going to be my voice, like basically kind of like what Barbarella, like what that, it's kind of me getting to talk my shit, because I used to not cuss when I rhymed. You got to understand, when I started making music professionally, I was going through my spiritual awakening and growth. So like I'm on my first album with like Ankh head wraps on and like 3/4. I mean, I was on stage with incense and like jugs of chlorophyll. Like that's what I was on.
Right.
So yeah, I was this ill MC, but I was also like, vegan. I think of all the people who I helped, transition, eating vegan. I just, because that's the shit I was on. Like, that's why that was what I was living. I rapped, but I was also, going to retreats and, going to sweat lodges.
Yeah, I hear you talking about all it. It's so cool to hear you talk about stuff that I recognize, yoga, you talked, just like talked about being hot as a Bikram studio in June or something. Like, I'm like, oh shit. Cause that's dope to me. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, cause relatable, like, oh yeah, I don't eat meat. Okay. Like, yeah. So, you know what I mean? Like, that was dope to hear. It's dope to hear you drop those in there.
Yeah, so that's so that is she was gonna be the side of me that got to cuss again, but then I just like, what, I don't know if I ever will do it. I mean, I kind of feel like without him it's really pointless. Because
I was going to ask you if you're going to do it, though. I mean,
I got to think about it. I mean, because, I'm still in touch with him. A lot of people be claiming that they still in touch with him and never met him. But I really do we still talk. You know what I mean? He still comes and visits me in dreams and stuff. So I think when I'm ready, the guidance will be given.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I know that it's just like there's so much stuff that like is trapped in like computers that they don't have cores for, and so it's just kind of like the frustration of like knowing like there's a song that he sent for me to do that was going to be on another KMD album. Like it's me, Lord Jamar, Curious, Ghostface, and Joey Badass. And when the beat was sent to me and I heard the other verses, I'm like, is this a mistake? Did you mean to send this to me? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, so I'm like the anchor verse on a song with all the people. And I was like, but I don't know if it'll ever, like, I never even got to hear it with everybody's verse on it because they sent me the reference that had everybody else because I was the final verse.
Oh.
I don't even know if the song will ever see the light of day.
There's so many stories.
We don't know. It's on a hard drive that they can't access type shit.
I get it.
All I have is my verse recorded separately, and then I've got the reference track, and of course I can't share it because it's my label. That's my label. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is, if and when you do it, it will be the right time, the right way, and it'll be right. Like I know it'll be right. Like I mean, I'm selfish as a fan. I want put that shit out now. But like it could be something where you do something fresh because you may just be in a different place. But like I know it'll be done proper. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully
And then I mean, you know, I got mad. You know, me and Madlib, it's just like his house burned down after the last time I saw him. But when I went out for the Doom tribute at Flognaw, like I walked in I couldn't even get in the camper, sit down, go, yo, Star, I need you on my. He said, oh, fuck that. We need to do an album. Like, I'm serious, Star. I need to. So to just, and it's always been like that with O. Like from I met him, he goes, whatever you need, sis, ever, whatever, let's do it. So it's just, you know what I mean? It's like, I know that I have that. It's like a thing where people, I think one of the things that's so funny to me about hip hop in general is that these niggas really got me fucked up because they really don't know who fucks with me. And I love knowing that it's like people who I just be seeing, they just be swinging, and them people absolutely love me. And them same people would walk by me in a crowd and wouldn't even acknowledge me. So I always love those gotcha bitch moments. Because I'm connected to a lot of people. And if I really wanted to turn my shit up, all I gotta do is pick up the phone and be like, it's time. I'm just not ready. Like I'm not, because I gotta really be fucking ready. Like when people be like, oh, you know, success to me is not what people would even think that it is. And one of the biggest things that has always been kind of like my Achilles heel with my music is that I've always wanted to be in love when I had the opportunities to step. Even when I was working with Doom, I should have took that shit in, but I was running behind some dude. And I think I was kind of scared to succeed. So I kind of would always use these things to kind of give an excuse. You know what I'm saying?
That takes a lot of self-reflection to be able to say
no,
that.
but I mean, I know that I was, because it's a fear, like succeed, especially when you're somebody that's got anxiety really bad. And then like, oh my God, being successful, that's fucking pressure.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
It's for an overthinker.
I understand.
I'm like, oh my God, you mean I'm gonna be like the top rap bitch and everybody's gonna love me and then I'm gonna be on this? And I'm like, no, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but if you understood what I was saying, you would get it. It's like, I know that in order for me to ascend the way people don't know the music business. They think that shit is evil and it's wicked. And it gets even more evil and wicked the more higher up the food chain you go. And it's some bullshit with indie stuff too. So they're not immune.
No, of course not.
If I'm gonna be really transparent. I remember when the Fugees came out. I remember when Nappy Heads remixed. And then I remember when they did Fuji Law, and I was like, God damn it, Lauren, girl, I was trying to be out there first doing it like that. Like she's a real fucking MC and she's beautiful. And I'm like, oh man. And then I saw what she went through and I'm like, oh God, thank you, Lauren. Thank you for taking that, because I would have never been able to do that.
Right.
I'm serious. It's like, I thought I wanted that until I saw her and what she went through. I was young, I was 19, 20 years old. You're like, there's another woman out there that raps the way I rap. We're in a vacuum, so we always think we're the only one that's doing what we do, right? You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So, and just seeing what she went through and how she's been since. I mean, Lauren went to the Vatican and like called the Pope a pedophile and she's still alive. You know what I'm saying? Like she called, and she's still here. So we got to understand that these things, this, Hollywood and the music business, this is not, it's not this innocent, fun little, childhood game. This is high stakes. You see, artists get killed. Their managers have life insurance policy. I don't want to be famous to the level where I gotta like go in public and wear a disguise.
Yeah.
Or I'm constantly, can you imagine just spiritually what it's like to have like a million people all talking about you at the same time?
Couldn't fuck with it, yeah.
And
I
that's
mean,
why I don't envy anybody. I don't envy anybody that has success on those levels. I would never want that for myself ever, because energetically you have people constantly think about all this gossip, like people every day, oh, da, 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 this, when just people always talking about you, people that don't know you, and the evil eye, you know what I'm saying? That's real. People putting the evil eye on you, being like envious and jealous, and like they don't even know what the fuck you envying somebody that you don't even know what they had to sacrifice or what part of themselves they had to give up or shut down to be there. No, I don't want that. I
no,
don't. And I
totally
mean,
understand.
I really like Lauren, like girl, thank you. I every time I think about it, I just be thank you, Lauren Hill. Thank you. Thank you, because you ain't no way.
Yeah, yeah.
Ain't no
Tajay said it great to me one time in an interview from Tajay from Souls. He was just like, "I'm famous, but I'm not famous enough to where it fucks up my daily life."
right.
And like I can still move around, and he said, some people may not recognize me, but a lot of people won't. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, and me and Tajay, like Tajay is like one of the main reasons why I went back to college and got my degree. Like, I mean, like the bills we had, like, just sharing with me, like, yo, Star, like I went to school, I got my degree, I always worked, even when we had it, like, and I'm like, yeah, we have to change that narrative. Like, you don't have to forfeit and sacrifice other aspects of your life just to be an MC.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can have a 9 to 5. There's no shame in that. You can go to school. I mean, there's no music is not sustainable enough, especially at this day and time, to me personally, to put every single egg in that basket.
That's a
It's
smart
just
move. And I hear a lot of artists that have been around for a while say the exact same thing, and it makes perfect sense. I mean, if you know what I'm saying, like,
and it's because of the structure of the business change. But even back when labels were giving you deals, you were getting raped on your royalties. You were getting on the other side of your publishing. So, because there's 200s. There's the 100 that you see, and then there's the other 100 that you don't see that you may not even get a piece of.
Right.
Because now that we've got streaming, so now streaming royalties are a whole other thing besides your publishing and your writing. The money is in the damn streaming, like the real money is in the streaming royalties. And there's a whole other 100%. Like, if you just don't know, you just don't know. And I know a lot of people like, damn, that song stream is one of the highest streaming songs that artist did. And I'll never get those streaming royalties unless that person has a change of heart and decides, you know what? I've got 100 other songs. This is just one song. This streaming revenue might be $3,000, every 2 or 3 months for you, which for me would be life changing to have an extra $3,000 every 2 or 3 months. For me, it would be life changing, but not to only be one song that is in a catalog that somebody else has. But unfortunately, I mean, sometimes the contract, you don't sign a contract, or you do songs before streaming comes out and you don't even know that that's going to be something that you need to have written into a contract because you just don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's real.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a blessing to be involved in things that, albums that sell a lot and they get lots of, billions and billions of streams, because, streams barely pay anything. But if the business side of it is not handled, and most people are just, sometimes you're so excited when you first start out. Oh yeah, you'll pay me this up front. Okay, cool. Then I get, my publishing and my writers, but not a piece of the sales.
Yeah, it's like you said, man. It is wicked. It is wicked, and in a lot of ways. And before we get out of here, though, you alluded to it a little earlier, as far as like, when you're ready, you're gonna be dropping some stuff or whatever, or do some things.
Yeah.
What you got going on, man?
Well, I recently did buy, I've got a little setup in the house. I have an interface. I got, I'm using GarageBand, and I am recording my own vocals. And that's giving me, like, it's just the freedom to be able to, like, wake up, and if I want to come into my living room in my pajamas and just, like, play with a verse, or like re-record it 100 times till I get it the way I want. Nobody's making, I'm not paying by the hour. I don't, I don't have to leave because somebody, their kids are coming home after school and they got to help them with their homework, or their wife is here and it's time for them to have dinner. I can do it on my own time at my own pace. And it's just, that's so empowering, and that feels so good, because that, I was really frustrated with music because I just couldn't do it when I wanted to. Yes, people were willing to help me, but it was like always like somebody that was like really far away from home, or if I came in, I only had a certain amount of time, so I may not even have, like, it sounds so much better when you have your shit memorized. Now, I can read off the paper real good, you can barely tell, but when you have a rhyme memorized and you record it, the energy is completely different.
Of course.
And I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit, man. It's just hard. It's just so hard just to do the simplest thing. So now, I made the investment, and as long as I get my levels, things are loud enough, a good engineer is going to do what needs to be done. As long as I get a good, solid vocal take, and I got, plenty of friends that make, make music and record and everything, that I have people I can ask for help. So, I mean, I'm not really necessarily doing it by myself, because I still do have, community if I need it, but it's something that, hey, I don't have to wait on anybody to track this thing and, send it or whatever. And hey, try it out. If it doesn't sound good, they can tell me, hey, turn this up, whatever. So that's just good. And that's empowering too, because then, if I can do that, if I can record myself, then that means if I don't have a DJ, but I may have a little piece of equipment, I can go somewhere and I can run my own sound.
Right.
So then what's next? I might be able to make my own beats. And I might say, it starts with one little step. So I am writing on a more regular basis. I do have I've learned just from past situations that talking about these things before the stuff was done, it's just better to not let people know until you have it done and you're ready. I learned that the hard way. So I do have a couple. I found someone just randomly, actually on Instagram. I love his sound. It really fits. Because you can like a beat, and people can send you what they think they want to hear you on. But when I hear something and I hear myself on it, that's different, because those are the things I'm probably going to end up writing to really quickly. Like, I can like a beat, but if I catch something, I'm like, that's me. That's a whole different. So I got a couple of things.
Do you write or type?
So I do a lot of, because of the arm thing, I do a lot of vocal
voice memos and stuff.
I say it, and then if I have to go back and edit, now I do like to still write my stuff on paper, just so that because that's still the organic side of it. But
writing
my arm, me injuring my writing hand, I do try not to do too much flexion. So if I get ideas, I will just I'll vocally transcribe them, because that's easy.
Yeah, I mean, that makes perfect sense, actually. I mean, I use that thing for like everything in my life. Like, I'm just walking around talking to myself all the time. So that makes sense. So you got some things, because I say this as a friend and as a fan, I fucks with you, like, and so I'm just greedy. Anybody that comes on my show and I fuck with them, I'm like, where the music
at? Definitely working. Like, I have my hands in about 2 or 3 little pots right now. So hopefully.
But my man, so I mean, since he let it out, my man PA Dre Beats did say that he said she spit some ill shit for me. So I'm just saying.
He's from Memphis as well, and so this is I'm really excited about, because even when I got hurt, like, he was so patient. I was like, bro, I don't know what he said, I don't care. I'll wait. He said, I'll wait. Like, I don't care how long it takes you. I'll wait. And I think the fact that we're both from Memphis, but then we moved other places, and that is going to be. I'm so excited about that, because we're were born in the same city, so that is a automatic connection right there that I just
ain't know
don't get.
P.A. Dre was from
Yeah.
Memphis. Oh, okay,
Yep.
okay,
So
okay.
I'm really excited about that.
Memphis connection, you know.
Yeah.
So nah. So I mean, I just say as a fan, like, and I can speak for everybody in probably in here and on our promo post. And you know what's dope to me is that when I like post a promo post and then everybody was just going through showing you mad love, it was just felt so good because I'm like, yo, they fucking know she's ill, and they were like, yeah, Queen.
I was at work, so I was like trying to do it in between. I couldn't even really like. I still haven't even gone through all of them. I'm these, I'm on the phone. I'm trying to, running around the office, whatever. So, but that is, yeah, I don't take it for granted. I definitely, I love that, and most importantly, like I need to be good with me. So I'm good with me. So seeing other people good with me is just extra. This is extra icing.
Hell yeah.
Because if I wasn't good with me, it wouldn't hit the same.
It wouldn't hit the same. And the thing is, when we're not good with ourselves, right, it comes out, man. Like it just, even this build wouldn't even be the same. It wouldn't be the same. You would have done it, but it wouldn't.
I didn't even I don't gotta put on no hip hop t-shirt. I ain't got rap. I came from work, like straight out the door from the 9 to 5. Just
of course
we are. It's real life.
Yeah, of course.
I don't at this point I don't have Lash move. I ain't got nothing to prove. I've already proven it.
Nah. I mean, there's a fun part about getting older. We're both the same age. Fun part to me anyway. Is a fun part about getting older where it's like I don't my not give a fuck meter just keeps going, just keeps getting going up levels. I don't give a fuck.
And also I really want to really this whole narrative of like MCs don't get to grow old. And they gotta like stop rapping at 32
That's
or
nonsense.
whatever. Like I as long as you sound good, keep making music.
I just saw Axl Rose the other day, like on the fucking Guns N' Roses shit. I think he was standing. I mean, he might be the best example, but I've put it this way: they still get it in, man. That age narrative is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is, and that's why I'm like, as long as you sound good and the music is good, keep making it.
Yeah, of course.
Because it's such a young art form. I mean, it's a baby. Like you can't. I just don't understand. Like we're just, and I feel like it's because it's a primarily, not only, not solely, it's a primarily Black form of expression, and I think that because of that, it is held to different standards, and I will rest on that hill. I said what I said. I don't care if you don't agree.
That makes sense. I mean,
I feel like it's scrutinized a lot more because of that.
It's definitely got a weird. It's like an asterisk genre of music. Like it's like, well, there's the rules for everybody else, and then there's the rules for hip hop as far as like that shit goes. But I don't know. It's wild. But that never meant anything to me, and it still doesn't, because as my man always says, like we're seeing older MCs drop tremendous projects as we speak. I mean, I look at my Drez from Black Sheep, still super nice. And here's the thing, Star, you should be better now because you got more life experiences. You talked about evolving multiple times. You should be better. That's the most ridiculous shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
that too, if I had, let's say I had taken in this ran with the shit with Doom, I probably would have ruined my career. I'm gonna be real honest with you. I think that if I had, because I wasn't whole. I wasn't healed. I just don't. I think that everything happened the way it was supposed to happen. I just wouldn't. It wouldn't have gone well.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have gone well. Just looking back, it wouldn't have.
No, we look forward. You know what I'm saying? Things happen and we move and we grow and we adjust and adapt. So we got to run, but yo, this has been great. This is everything I thought it was going to be. It's like 8 years overdue. We got to do it again. Maybe I'll get down there one day and actually leave the airport. don't even leave the airport.
What was happening in the airport?
Everything ratchet, man. It was the workers were bugging out. Like,
I mean, now it's ratchet stuff down here, but like I said, I just have an affinity for it because, like I said, I do have a soft spot in my heart for certain things. Just like with Memphis. I mean, it's it's Memphis shit. It's just
I feel you. It was crazy though. I mean, but it's all love. But the funny thing is, though, I got peoples down there, and like.
Yeah, come visit us.
I come down there. One of my best friends growing up, he's from Cleveland, but he lives down there now. He lives down there, so I got to get down there. But this has been fun. I thank you so much for coming through and taking the time after work and giving us your time. So this is episode Buck 78, Carrying the Culture Show. Star Barbarella, Angelica, one of the illest.
Empress official, Empress Star. Mother Nature with a Molotov. The B girl next door.
And so we're gonna get this up on the CTC YouTube and all past episodes of the Carrying the Culture Show on there, so you can check out all 177 prior episodes.
Yes, and, I told my story. You'll know where I came from.
Yeah,
and
this was great.
That's definitely evolution because I was definitely born. I was born like this. I was born to do this. This is who I am. I can't even fake this shit. Like I can't.
Good. I mean,
like and then if I've tried, like I'm like, I had somebody tell me that they wanted me to, I should be rapping like Outkast because I'm from here. Somebody really jumped in my DMs and said that to me. I'm like, so you want me?
You want me to fake the funk? I mean, just not be who I am. And like you said, it's not about what
I love Outkast, so it's nothing against them, but that's their shit. Like, why? Because I mean, I don't necessarily sound like a particular person. You can just tell my influence.
Yeah,
but
you came up how you came up.
I still made it mine.
Yeah.
But for me to I'm going to pattern myself after Outkast, that's crazy.
Yeah. No, that's people want to put labels, put a box. You're not one to be put in the box.
People want to, they don't understand it, so they're trying to make sense of it. That's why they always compare me to like the same three women, even though I don't sound anything like them.
Yeah. That's a good point.
We've got the same hairstyle.
Yeah, so it's like you got to be
black.
Yeah, no, I have a Mexican friend who rhymes out in LA, and they wanted him to rhyme like Cholo style, like Kid Frost or whatever. But he was influenced by like visionaries and like just underground MCs out there. So like so
that's really so racist. I mean, when you really unpack it, that's super fucking racist.
It's foul. Yeah, it's foul, but
it is just like with the whole you're a girl, so we gonna compare you to something
yeah.
Or like I want to hear you like you want to hear three women that rap exactly the same on a track. For why?
Right.
You want that have similar, like, what do you get out of that?
Right,
you want three women that have similar. I just don't understand, like, what. It's okay for you to like us, but give me your concept for the song. I'll be wondering what you want us to rap about. What's the song gonna be about?
Right. Yeah, people will always put us in our box. Yeah, but fuck the box. Yeah. So appreciate you. I will get this up. We'll tag you in the promo and everything that we do and pump this. And your hair growing back. Yeah.
It is. And it's only been like a year. I started my locks April of 2024.
It's quick. I mean, that's how long it's been since I've really
That's why I don't mind cutting my hair. This is like my 6th time having locks. Yep. And I mean, I had locks down my back.
Yeah, don't get me started because I can't do mine anymore. So for old people reasons. So
it's okay. I mean, as long as you don't got the pack of Franks in the back of your head.
Oh, when they start back here, no, I gave up. I mean, I got my pictures though, so I'm good.
No, I'm saying your head shape, like you don't got.
I thought you meant with the locks. Because some cats got locks.
No, don't do that. Because
it start like right here. I know what you're talking about. No, I don't have to be in a sausage neck.
Yeah, let that shit go, man. Just let it go. It's okay. Bald heads are cool.
Yeah, no, I got a decent shaped head. So, all right, Joe. I love you, sis. We'll talk. Thank you so much.
All right, peace, y'all. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, everybody, be good. Thank you. We're gonna get this up, and we'll talk soon. Star episode 178 CTC show.
Head bounce.